This week on Tower Dive.
Here are your 2016 North American Power Bottoms.
Nice. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Tower Dive. I, of course, am your host, Captain Hooked. And with me, as always, is the fantasy stud himself, and the man.
Ooh, I like being a stud. That's a good one this
You're
week.
a fantasy stud.
Yeah,
That's not like a real stud.
that's close enough. It's probably the closest to stud status that
you'll ever
I
get.
will ever be.
that I will ever
You know.
maintain.
You can only reach so high in life. Just be happy with your station. I think that's your solo Q
that's
advice for
really
today.
That's solo Q advice. Be happy with where you are, because you'll never get there. Oh.
Oh man, this kind of puts a wet
Damper
blanket
on
over
things,
this
right?
week's episode.
Oh.
We're just kidding, guys.
Nah, we just fucking with y'all.
Shoot for the stars.
Shoot for the
Yada
stars.
yada yada.
Yeah. So in like the shooting star, super motivational quote dash tower dive. That's
Yeah.
what the poster is.
Yeah, that's good.
Shoot for the stars and you'll reach the moon, because things happen.
Because
and
the
that's
moon's a
good.
lot closer to the stars, and that's
Yeah.
probably a more realistic goal.
And it's more realistic. If
There
you
we go.
shoot for the stars, yeah, I don't know. There's some.
That's
bullshit
good. I
about
like
it.
that one.
Yeah, whatever.
We had
Yeah, we got one. There it is. Print it.
it.
Mark it down. So, so after our last episode, a lot of people were asking if we were going to do an NA preview,
Mhm.
and we always were going to, but I wanted to be like, I don't know, only if you guys really want it. We were. It just wasn't available when we did the last show. That's why we didn't do it.
Yeah, we could have come up with our own opinions.
Because
but,
it's not like we agree with other people anyway.
No, we just like to let other people make content, and then we like to pick it apart.
We like to point out why it's bad.
Real shitty vultures.
Yeah, we're no shitty vultures. We're fucking awesome vultures.
Oh, awesome.
Or
vultures.
awesome shit vultures.
Like the great Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah. He was a shitty vulture?
Well, they were scavengers.
I
by
guess, because
nature.
they had those tiny little arms
Yeah,
and
that's
big
why
heads.
that's why they couldn't hunt very well. People
Yes.
saw them coming because they're big ass heads.
Look at this fucking asshole with his huge head and his little stupid arms. That's why the Tyrannosauruses are as always shown as being so angry, because they were being bullied by other dinosaurs.
Yeah, only
It's
two
like-
fingers, one thumb.
Can't grab anything.
Can't
like
brush his
that.
teeth.
Can't brush. Yeah, fucking can't. What if he got stuck in his teeth?
No, that's again, it's another reason to be so angry.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's just frustrating. It's a frustrating life.
It's hard life.
The hard life of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It's really
What the fuck are
a
we
very
talking about?
it's a very apt metaphor for the
I like
Tower
it.
Dive crew.
I was in it. Listen, our metaphors are spot on,
On point.
except for those times when they sort of derail and they go nowhere.
Yeah, the kids might even say that they're on fleek.
I don't even know what that means.
I think it's a good thing.
I don't know. Nothing kids say today is a good thing.
Okay, Grandpa Hooks.
There's no, seriously. Like, take the grandpa out of it.
Uh-huh.
Nothing teenagers can say today is good.
Okay, Grandpa Hooks.
Unless it's Tower Dive's awesome. In which case, you're fucking,
Yes.
yeah, fucking A, right?
You're totally right.
Yeah. Fact. Your parents are raised you well, son. Talking about. So, with absolutely zero gilding the lily and almost no ado, we do have our North American what are we gonna call
Top
it?
10.
Like our power rankings, I guess. Is that
I don't
what
know.
this
I
is?
think we're going
Power
to
rankings?
because there
Please.
already are power rankings. I think we're gonna it's gonna be more like a ranking rebuttal.
Like the Tower Dive preseason re-ranking.
You want to get gross with it? We can give it a real gross
No,
title.
I don't want to. I don't
Okay.
want to get gross with it. We've gotten gross many times.
As I came up with a real
gross.
gross headline, but
I
we'll
would
skip it.
prefer you didn't.
We'll skip it.
It's a family show. I mean, it's a dysfunctional family,
Yeah.
but family nonetheless.
That kind of family that doesn't use
Dad-
silverware. They only
Dad
have
drinks
plastic forks.
Dad drinks a little too much. Mom
Yeah.
goes to the male nudie review with her friends.
They use Chinette instead of actual dishes.
The older daughter drinks the family's alcohol and refills it with water, even if it was rum and it wasn't white. It wasn't clear. I mean, you know, and the son just masturbates frequently because he's got
and publicly.
really bad social skills. It's a fucked up family, man.
I think we might be a step above that one.
Yeah, we're right above that family,
Yeah.
but family nonetheless. If that's what your family is like, then I respect you.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you, but I respect you nonetheless.
Go to college.
Please better yourself. Then brush your teeth.
Brush your damn teeth.
Brush your damn teeth. God.
Yeah. Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll run down a quick rundown of what the rankings on Gold Per 10
Yes.
were, and then we will give our own as we sort of ask what the fuck is wrong with these people.
Yeah.
Which clearly we've now prefaced what our feelings on the top 10 ranking that they did is.
Overall, we disagree.
As at a whole, I'm not gonna lie, I think there may be 2 or 3 spots that I agree with. That's about it.
Yeah.
So how do you want to do this? You want to do we just go down it and then we kind of give our opinion of it, or we give our opinion of each team? I don't know how you want to do this. We got
okay. Let's read the list real quick, and then we'll go about discussing it.
I like it. I like it. I like where your head's at.
So
so your top 10 North American preseason power rankings are
as per Gold Per 10.
As per Gold Per 10.
Yeah.
The opinions expressed in this show by Gold Per 10 are not the same of Tower Dive. So, TSM, number 1. Number 2, Cloud9. Number 3, Energy. Number 4, Immortal. I feel like you have to say their name with an English accent.
Really? I think you got to be like Spartan with it.
You're an immortal. You're a wizard, Harry. Number 5, CLG. Jesus Christ. Number 6, Team Liquid. Number 7, Renegades. Number 8, Echo Fox.
I get it. I see what you did there.
Right? It was a dad joke. Number 9, Dignitas. And number 10, Team Impulse.
And which one of these, you said you agreed with some of them, which one do you agree
right off
with?
the bat, Impulse being 10th, I 100% agree with.
Yeah.
A team built around Fang, Proxen / BB, Pyrene, Don't Mash Me, and Gate does not sound like a championship.
Yeah, that sounds like...
Mostly because I don't know a lot of those players. And that's maybe that, listen, I am not claiming to be this, finger on the pulse of the League of Legends scene, but I mean, one of them was a Japanese player.
Oh, wow.
They don't even have a server.
They're working on it.
I know.
Yeah, one day.
So this team, I do laugh at this one sentence in their, kind of why they're there. Featuring 3 unknown players and 2 unfortunately known ones.
Oh, God.
Aww.
Is that really what they wrote?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Almost no one has high hopes for this team.
That's not even fair for MASH.
Including probably their management who couldn't sell them.
Why wouldn't they just forfeit or something?
You can't.
You can't?
I don't think so.
Surely you can forfeit.
I mean, I don't know. I got nothing.
Anyways,
I agree with them.
They'll get relegated and then it'll be over.
I agree with them being 10th.
Yeah.
That's a pretty straightforward. And then they will be replaced by TDK.
Yeah. And then I also kind of agree with Dignitas being 9th.
Yeah. Don't disagree with Dignitas being 9th. I think that's a fair place for them. I don't think their team is all that impressive. I mean, their only true carry is Shifter in the mid.
And he's not
Apollo
bad.
Apollo is good, but I think Apollo is usually only as good as his support. And with Kiwi Kid as a support, he's not that good. Kiwi Kid's that guy. He's like the dingleberry that just won't get off your butt when you're pooping.
It's weird that he's still playing.
He refuses to get flushed.
He's one of those players that shows up and then kind of does his job and then he goes home.
He's bad. He's not a good player. I mean, he's hilarious. I mean, I'm sure if I hung out with Kiwi Kid, we'd be, may have a smashing time.
Yeah.
But
Not a,
like as far as being a League of Legends professional goes, as far as the other support players in the League of Legends, I won't even say in the world, in like America and Europe, if there are 20 of them, which there are, 10 teams on each side, each have a support with 20 supports. Like he's got to be like in the bottom 5
yeah.
at
Yeah.
least. I mean,
He's
the only
pretty,
supports right now that are worse. I mean, I think Gate is because I don't even know how good he is as a support.
he's pretty unimpressive.
Not even a natural support. Excuse me, but yeah. So not a team that throws out um any sort of hope that they're going to be any good. But yeah, so I agree. They're 9 and 10.
But those are also, I mean, those are the obvious ones, right? That's
Yeah,
very clear.
those ones jump off the page as being bad. Also, the other one I agree with, honestly, is Cloud9 at number 2.
Oh, really?
Cloud9 at number 2.
I don't think Cloud9 gets number 2.
Here's why. I'm gonna clear my throat. Excuse me. So here's why I have Cloud9 as number 2. The only thing that they changed is adding a better jungler.
Maybe a worse support. If they're gonna start with High, maybe a worse support.
But I don't know if High is a worse support than Elimination.
It's kind of tough
because pretty bad at
he was kind of shit in the bed there at the end. You know, Lemon.
Yeah, Lemon was pretty bad at times. Like when you looked at their team, you're like the worst player on their team was definitely Lemonation.
Yeah, sometimes it was Balls, but it was
sometimes it was Lemon. Balls. And I'm not saying because Lemonation's a bad player. I just think sometimes he would do bonehead things. For a really smart guy, he made stupid plays.
They looked good on paper.
We had a running joke is fucking Lemonation dying like a bitch. You know, I mean, I can't tell you how many times we said that.
Because the plays looked good on paper. He would just,
and he writes a lot on paper.
He couldn't do it.
Yeah, it would go poorly for him. I mean, he had some really nice plays over the course of the season. He did some good things. You know, made Vigar support a thing for like a week.
That's impressive to shift the metal like that.
Yeah, he's definitely not a bad player, but I think he just had a bad time.
I think he didn't practice a lot or he didn't have great mechanics.
Yeah, I think it's exposed his weaknesses, his deficiencies in the game.
Yeah.
Especially when the teams you know, their sort of their identity kind of shifted when Meteos left. And when High wasn't playing, I think it definitely shifted, and because of that, I think it really exposed him a lot. But that being said, I think Jensen, aka Incarnation, showed a lot of improvement.
He did improve
at the end of the season, and I think they're gonna kind of run with that. I think Sneaky, he has to make that next logical step from being really good to being a true carry.
Yeah.
I think Sneaky's biggest problem is his whole career is that everyone's like, oh, Sneaky's fucking great. Sneaky's so good. Everything Sneaky does is good, except his numbers and the results don't reflect that. Like, you know, he'll have a great game, but he'll be like, you know, 4-1-2.
Yeah.
I think he has never had that big game, and I think he needs to really start to drive.
Usually when Sneaky's 4-1-2, the rest of his team is like 0-7-3.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I think he needs to sort of assume a double lift type role now.
Yeah, and he can, and he plays a ton.
Yeah, dude always plays.
Yeah,
I respect that.
So
I really think that the addition of Rush in jungle is going to take a lot of pressure off of Balls.
Yeah,
and it's going to open up a lot more opportunities for both Jensen and Balls, because I feel like Rush does a lot of damage in that jungle between top and mid lane. I feel like that's like his bread and butter spot.
Yeah, I don't think the synergy is going to be quite there yet. I think they do like 5th or 4th for the season. I think for the playoffs, I think they do well in the playoffs. But I don't
see them as a 2. I see them as a 2 seed. I almost lock them in at 2 seed.
I think they have a really rough start in the season, and then they
they couldn't have had any more of a rough start, and I think they're a better team than they were last season. Even going into that gauntlet where they played well, I think they're going to ride that, and with the additions that they've made, and whether or not High maintains or they swap to Bunny Fufu at some point, I think that they'll find it early and they will have a lot of success.
I think it's going to be a rough start. Rough start for C9 for me.
I think there's too many other teams that are going to have rough starts. that C9 will be able to take advantage of.
That's true. I mean, there are going to be a lot of sloppy games.
I think when you look at the thing I get and respect and to a level to agree with what you're saying, but I look at so many other teams that look so much sloppy or need to do so many more things to get all on the same page. I feel like C9 is going to kind of sneak a few wins that they would have normally not gotten because of that.
Yeah.
So,
and that's
I mean,
since
we've already kind of started
that's where C9 really shines, when the game's real dirty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Listen, what they do isn't pretty, I mean, they're not they're not artists, they're lumberjacks when they play, It's not pretty, the hands get dirty, the fucking pushing trees over and hacking at shit, but if they come out and they win, it's like, hey, whatever.
They love the slop. Their motto was a motto.
Put the fucking helmet on, strap it, grab your M16, fucking dive in that pig shit mud.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, since we've kind of already started, who's your top spot? Who gold per 10 has TSM. I don't agree with that.
I think TSM probably still takes first.
You think TSM takes first?
I don't know.
This split they do.
For the split, I don't know if they take first after the playoffs. But I think for the split, they probably do. Just because the sheer amount of talent on their team is difficult.
The problem with having a wildly talented team is the propensity for failure and then for egos makes it really bad. And apparently Bjergsen is injured.
Oh, when did this happen?
I don't know. This was news to me, but apparently he's been having wrist problems.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe TSM chokes and then they end up last. Maybe.
They're not going to end up last. They're way too good to be.
They have a strong chance of ending up first, though. I mean,
hey, listen, if any team on paper should be first place, it's them.
Yeah. So they had a very clear weakness last season in shot calling, and they fixed that.
Well,
right?
Essentially,
they brought in a shot caller.
They brought in a world-class shot caller.
And Bjergsen, I think, was just looking for someone that he respected to call shots for.
Well, he has to listen.
Yeah, but I mean, who was calling shots? Last season it was Bjergsen didn't want to do it. And then if it was a Bjergsen, it was
nobody. It was Bjergsen.
Maybe Lustboy tried, but you couldn't understand him.
Stop being Korean.
Now they have Yellowstar, who's been to almost every single Worlds every single Worlds.
Been to Worlds every single year.
Yeah. Someone to kind of look up to. Yeah, and done really well.
Yeah. So here's the thing. He is the single most decorated person on this team. If you don't listen or respect him, then you're wrong. That's how that works.
It's a very
you're
clear the one that's fix, wrong. Right? It's
double lift. If you don't listen to Yellowstar, guess what? You're wrong.
Yeah, you don't have to argue anymore.
If you don't listen to Yellowstar, you're wrong. Svenskeren, you're already wrong.
Just keep being you. You do you, boo.
You do you, boo. You do you. And Haunster, you have no business not listening to everybody else in your team. You have no voice. So. Shut up and farm.
I don't know. It just seems that team was built with a very clear plan in mind.
Yeah, they want to win.
So that's why I kind of agree with the first place.
I don't want to agree with it.
I don't want to. No,
my personal bias.
No. But
it's hard. It's hard
tough
to
argue.
Make a case. It's hard to make a case for the other teams because the other teams that are in that boat are also dealing with the same exact issues.
Yeah, but with less seasoned players,
because you could just as easily say, oh well, look at Energy's team, with Impact, Gank by Mom, and all tech at their carry spots, they're all amazing. Yeah, well, these guys have all never played with each other.
Yeah, well, most of the people in TSM have never played with each other either.
But that's what that's the point that I was making. The same argument you can make to say that Energy should be number one. The flip side of that coin is the exact same things that you would be saying about TSM. So it's there. It's why I'm saying is whatever. I don't know.
It's also a real different format. I think Gank by Mom might have some trouble adjusting to coming into it like this.
I don't think so.
There's no like not enough prep. You don't. You lose one game and that's your loss for the week.
I don't. No, it's 2 games.
2, yeah, but still, it's not like a best of 2. You lost.
No, I agree.
Don't take backsies.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Split.
So we'll say for the sake of argument, TSM is number 1.
Sure.
Who's your number 2? I already said that I agree that Cloud9 is my number 2.
I I don't know. I want to say Renegades, but it's a lot of. They've been in Korea for a really long time. They have Freeze. They have Alex Ish.
Who's been with the Freeze has been with them the whole time in Korea.
Yeah, they have Remilia, who's amazing. I mean, their team, while not on paper, might not look the best.
Because a lot of people are like, oh, Crumbs and Alex Ish, they're not going to be that good.
I don't know why anyone would ever say that, though. Crumbs was always good. Yeah, he was always shot calling. He was always
Crumbs left a bad team.
Yeah. Alex Ish has always been good.
Yeah. No, I know.
Freeze has always been good.
Yeah, and again, he's the best player on a terrible ass team.
And I think it's a really good meshing of personalities, too. And I think they've also been playing longer together than any other team in the NALCS right now.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, shit, they've been together. Yeah, it's impressive.
I think Renegades goes on a tear.
I don't disagree with you. I like Renegades a lot. I think the biggest knock on them is Remelia, and it's not because she's not a good player. It's just because her champion pool was well, currently we don't know what it is. So what we know is that she has a very shallow champion pool. So much so, well, no, it has because we haven't seen it yet. So currently, the only information is that she has a shallow champion pool. So much so that if they didn't ban out Thresh, if other teams didn't ban out Thresh, they would first pick Thresh for her and give up power picks because of that.
Yeah, that's got to be fixed by now.
Can't do that in the LCS. That is just a recipe for failure. If you first pick Thresh because your support is comfortable on it, like she has to have worked on a lot of other supports. You know, if she better come out with Trundle, she better come out with if Trundle's the new hot support.
Yeah, I don't buy that yet.
It's been used a lot.
Maybe on a pro level.
That's what I'm saying. Fine. So but she needs to bust out Trundle. She needs to bust out the the brands that's being used.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she needs to be able to in a pinch be able to play one of those supports that's available.
Yeah, you spend that long boot camping. I'm sure.
I hope that. I'm assuming she's going to come out. Listen. We're not claiming to be like to have this incredible insight into the game that nobody else knows. If we understand that she's got a shallow champion pool, I'm sure Renegades understands that that's an issue,
right?
And that they probably set up right out and be like, okay, now you have Freeze, Remelia, Freeze. You need to get more champions. You need to carry.
Yeah,
and then that's sort of what I feel like that was
fucking write it on the dry erase board, Yeah. And then right when they were leaving their apartment to come back to America, they erased it.
Yeah.
Like real dramatically. And they were playing like some really cool rap song or something.
Oh, I was gonna say that they were what is it? From Rocky IV.
That's too cliche. That's too on the nose.
No, you have to play it.
That's too on the nose.
Burning Heart. With a burning heart. It's about to burst. That's the song. Like not Eye of the Tiger. Everyone was expecting Eye of the Tiger. We're going Burning Heart or Hearts on Fire.
Yeah.
One of those heart songs.
Something with a heart in it. What about
I'm playing drums to it.
From the Transformers movie. You get the touch.
No. That's too cliche.
Bow, bow.
No, you got the touch.
It's the same band.
It's gotta be Hearts on Fire or Burning Heart. That's it.
Same band. They're kind of the same song.
Not the same band.
Everyone that did the music for Rocky IV did the music for Transformers.
There were other bands that did music for Rocky IV.
It's all the same band.
Not all
the same hair metal band.
It's the same.
Wrote rock ballads.
They're all the same band, but they're not actually the same people. I get what you're saying.
Whatever.
So anyway, but yeah. So I think
I think Renegades goes on a tear, ends up number 2 or number 1.
Wow, that's a bold proposition.
I think they got it in them.
Okay, this is a better thing that we'll do because we can just sit there talking.
I know they're not going to be 8th.
No, they're definitely not going to be 8th because Dignitas is going to be 8th.
Yeah.
Or 7th. No, 9th. Dignitas is 9th.
Yeah.
Because Team Impulse is getting auto relegated.
Right.
And then Dignitas is going to have to play for their spot. Yeah. Win. So here's what we're going to do. It's going to make it a little bit easier. So number 1, we're going to say TSM.
Sure.
Despite what we don't want to, I'm going to give you my top 4. And your top 4.
Okay.
So my top 4 I'm going is TSM. Like if there was like a little thing, you'd be like, ding, TSM. So TSM number 1, number 2 C9, number 3 Energy, number 4 Renegades. That's my top 4.
Okay. Mine would be. I'm gonna say number 1 TSM. I'm gonna say number 2 Renegades.
Okay.
I'm gonna say number 3 C9. Okay. Number 4 Energy.
So we have the same top 4.
Pretty much, yeah. Because I don't think Immortals' roster is that strong.
Well, before we do that.
Sorry,
because we're gonna go
to the next me.
But since we've spoken about Renegades, rather, since we've spoken about C9 and what we think of them, we already spoken about TSM. I think Energy is the next team we kind of have to touch on.
Yeah.
My personal feelings are because their carry positions are incredibly strong. Because everyone keeps saying how Moon's not that good and Conquan was really mediocre at best on their teams. Their carries are the ones you need to think about.
Yeah. I don't know why everyone thinks that every team needs to have 5 superstars. No, you only need 1 Kobe Bryant.
That's an American mindset. That's an American mindset.
Which is weird because American
world at the same team.
American sports are all individual superstars on every team. Every team has 1 superstar.
It's traditionally, yeah. I mean, when the Miami Heat a few years ago got, Bosh had Dwayne Wade and got LeBron James, that was like the big 3, and then that became sort of the, the new became the plan for all these teams. You have to have 3 superstars. No. And then you worry about the other 2 players. Well, they have 3 superstars. They have the Miami Heat blueprint fully in place. The Miami Heat won a championship with that blueprint.
Yeah.
So, the Boston Celtics won a championship with that same blueprint of 3 superstars, and then you have a good supporting cast. Moon is not a superstar. Conquan, not a superstar. But you know what they are? Professional League of Legends players that aren't going to throw you games.
They're not going to, just choke.
Yeah. You know what their coaching staff is telling those guys? Listen,
don't fucking choke.
Players. You're good players. You know what we need you to do? Not be fucking stupid. Don't think you're going to carry. Moon. Let me just ease your troubled mind. Your job is not to carry. I do not want you to carry a game. You know what your job is? To support the carries. You are the roaming support. You're the second support on this team because Conquan, you're supporting Alltech. Moon, you're supporting the rest of the fucking team.
Yeah.
That's your job. Your job is to make them look good.
I think people undervalue that first part of what the coaches say. You're good players. Like that's like no one you don't all have to be faker, right? Yeah. You guys that are good players, just be good players. Don't be shitty players.
They're not saying, Conquan, you need to be Yellow Star. Listen, if he became Yellow Star, oh my God, that would be a huge boon. It would be super unexpected. It's not what they're looking for out of him. Yeah. All they need him to do is support Alltech and let Alltech do his job that he does well.
And Alltech's good.
That's what I'm saying.
He put up a hell of a season last season
Impact is probably the best top laner in North America.
At least top 3.
In America?
At least top 3.
Who would be better than him?
Huni? Maybe?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Said maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I see Impact as the best top laner in America, and a lot of people agree with me on that.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
there's a strong argument to be made for him saying he's the best top laner in America. Gank by Mom is probably a top 3 or 4 mid laner in America right now.
Yeah.
With not even playing a game in North America, the only people you could even attempt to put ahead of him would be like Bjergsen, and you could put Bjergsen ahead of him.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And even then, I mean, that's maybe just a nose, not even a head.
I put Bjergsen ahead of him because he's familiar with this style of play now.
Yeah, that's true.
It will take a hot minute for Gank by Mom. I mean, listen, League of Legends is League of Legends. Whether, meta, cultural differences aside from that, it's still the point of the game is still the same. He knows he's got to kill he win his lane, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be his responsibility to do
that. Yada, yada. Kill the Nexus.
I mentioned the Bith. But yeah, so their carries are super strong, and that's why I put this team. They have to be a top 4 team.
Yeah.
The only way that they don't become a top 4 team is if Impact, Gank by Mom, or Alltech fucking play shitty.
Yeah, or they don't take the other team seriously.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't, because here's the thing: Yank by Mom, super incredible, talented mid laner, but I don't think he's at that echelon where he's like, I'm better than all of these people.
Right.
I think he's
regular sized head.
Yeah, I think he's got a good head on his shoulders where he understands why he was brought here and why he get paid a lot of money, and it's to fucking perform. And I think he understands that, and he's not going to take it lightly. I think he wants to win.
And there's
I think because Janair, when he was on Janair, they were super mediocre as a team, and they lost games that they shouldn't have. I think he's out to prove that he is as good as people said he is.
Yeah, and their support staff's good too. Their support staff.
Yeah.
Analysts look good. Coaching looks good.
This team, I mean, they seem to have done all the right things. Yeah. So, that's my top 4. That's your top 4. Mm-hmm. We seem to be on the same page with the teams, not the positions, but I digress.
Yeah.
Now, we're also on par with the bottom 2. So that leaves spots 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah. Which is
Fifth
Immortals,
place.
Echo Fox, and who are we forgetting?
Immortals, Echo Fox, and Liquid, and CLG.
Oh yeah, it's kind of easy to forget about CLG.
Yeah. So I think. Oh no, excuse me. We're 5, 6, 7,
8, 9, 10, 11.
Because we 9 and 10. We've done 9 and 10. Yeah. So 5, 6, 7, and 8.
This is hard,
right? We suck at numbers. So okay. So number 5, I think you'll agree with me. I like to think you'll agree with me. My 5th place team, I think, is Immortals.
I kind of think Echo Fox.
Really?
Kind of. I mean, those two teams.
My issue with Echo Fox, and I look at their team, and I see, okay, Froggen in mid. Sure, he's on the downside of his career. He was here, now he's on the other side of the hill, where he's going to start heading downward. But I think coming to America, like Eddie Murphy, and Arsenio Hall, I think coming to America, I think it will add a little bit of life to his career, and I think it'll put him sort of make him do one of these.
Yeah, where I think he's kind of poised for a comeback.
Yeah. I think Keith, this is his opportunity to not just be the guy who's there to push another ADC.
He's that guy that wants to be Piglet.
Yeah. His job isn't to make Piglet better, it's to actually carry. So,
yeah.
I don't know a lot about Baby. I've heard good things about him.
Yeah, Baby's good. Not a native support though, right?
I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I don't know a lot about Baby. I don't pretend. They were on C9. He was on C9 Tempest.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else.
I think you're thinking of someone.
Okay.
He was on C9 Tempest.
But C9 Tempest was a really good challenger team. They just kept fucking up everything else.
Well,
not their games. They would just not go to tournaments.
They had bad.
They wouldn't update their clients.
Yeah, they had bad things.
Dumb shit like that.
On top of that, they also have Hard, who is C9 Tempest jungler, and he's really good.
Yeah.
I think Hard is very underrated. And I think this is going to be his opportunity to kind of show that.
He was almost on Renegades.
He was on C9 Tempest as well.
Yeah.
And then KFO is the unknown in top lane. He was a Korean solo queuer. Apparently he's really good, but those solo queue heroes usually come over and it takes them a little bit to sort of iron out their problems.
Right. Sometimes you wind up with a Fabebin or a Huni or a Reignover. Other times,
but Huni and Reignover
wind up with a Pobelter.
Huni and Reignover were also subs or trying out for like SKT and Najin and shit. So, I mean, they were known enough within the Korean region of being solid players. KFO, nobody knows shit about him. He was a solo queue player.
So we'll see.
So we'll see. I don't see them as 5th. The only reason I put Immortals as 5th is because the entire team from top to bottom has the experience. They're not bad players, sure. They're a team full of cast-offs.
Cast-offs are people that are just going to North America.
Yeah, they're a team comprised entirely of the guys other teams didn't want to keep and replace with better players.
I think they wanted to keep Huni and Reignover.
Okay, except for Huni and Reignover.
Yeah, they just didn't want to pay him that much.
Huni and Reignover were clearly the centerpieces of that team.
Yeah.
And then they just were like, we need a mid laner. No one wants Pobelter. We want Pobelter. We need an AD carry. No one wants Turtle. We want Turtle.
Yeah.
We need a support. No one wants Adrian. We want Adrian. So, it's
when you're playing Monopoly, you're that guy that's just buying up all the pieces nobody actually wants.
Yeah, you don't have any actual monopolies.
You got Marvin Gardens and
you got Kentucky
Illinois.
Way. You've got Marvin Gardens, and you fucking bought Baltic. You don't have Mediterranean.
And the guy that does have Mediterranean really wants Baltic, but
yeah, but you're too stupid to trade it to him. Because I'm not going to give you Baltic. I land on Baltic 6 times a game. I'm not going to give you shit. Fuck you. You're going to put 12 hotels on it. It would cost me $1 billion to go on Baltic. Fuck you. So that's Immortals. They're that guy who owns Baltic. Fuck him. I just think that their experience is going to keep them relevant.
That's true. They are very experienced.
Yeah, I think that their experience is going to keep them relevant. But here's the rub. Huni and Reignover, the ultimate free agents. Everybody wanted a piece, or so it was perceived. They weren't the highest bidders, apparently, Immortals, but they gave the best deal, it seems.
Which is just a testament to what we talked about last episode, that it's not all about the Benjamins.
No.
It's about the full package.
Exactly. It's about creating long-lasting success for yourself and your brand.
Esports works just like real life. Who would have thought?
Oh my God, get out of here. Yeah. You get right out of town. When you treat it like a real business and a real sport, it's amazing how that can work.
Who would have thought? But we digress.
And here's the thing. Like I said, here's the rub. Huni and Reignover sought after free agents. Played with Fnatic last season. Mm-hmm. Now, Huni had a great couple of splits. Reignover had a great couple of splits. Mm-hmm. Making plays, getting popular, getting those Korean biddies, whatever it is.
Are they biddies in Korea?
Well, girls?
Yeah.
Biddies, man. Big old biddies. Biddies.
No.
So, here's the thing. Huni and Reignover were 2 parts of the 5-part puzzle. And when you look at the other 3 parts, it was Vivin, Yellow Star, and Reckless.
Yeah.
You had amazing, not actually, you had amazing players everywhere else. So it was very hard to say, we are going to focus on Huni today because we're not going to get beaten by Huni. Because you'd get beaten by Vivin and Reckless.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how they perform with lesser carries and lesser members of their team at the other spots.
Yeah, there's not as strong a safety net on Immortals as there was on Fnatic.
Because here's the thing.
If Huni went ham-bony and it didn't work out for him, you still had 2 opportunities,
if
2 more
Huni
threats.
Doesn't carry, you're looking at Pobelter, and Pobelter is not Forbidden.
Yeah, he's not.
You look at Wild Turtle, and he is not Reckless.
Well, he is reckless.
Well, he's reckless. But he's not reckless. And you look at Adrian, and he's not Yellow Star. And these aren't insults on these guys. This isn't us knocking them, but they're not those players. So you're taking them out of a situation where they had a hugely protective safety net, and you're putting them on a tightrope with no net.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they respond. Listen, they may do great. This team may be a top 3 team for all we know. I don't see it. I don't see it, at least in this split. They may get better.
They could also do great and make it to Worlds and then choke at Worlds.
Yeah, very well possible.
Huni's Worlds performance was just subpar.
Because Korean teams and
they're just fucking better. I mean,
well, they expected things.
Yeah. So.
You said Echo Fox.
Yeah.
So we spoke about Echo Fox. I think
there's just fewer wild cards on Echo Fox.
The whole team is a wild card.
Their whole team's pretty safe players. Overall, I don't know. I think
you don't know anything about their top laner or their support.
So
what you're saying is their safe players are Froggen, Keith, and Hard. You don't know anything about Hard either.
No. I think I just got a feeling.
Yeah,
I got a feeling down in my
prescription is more out.
Giblets.
So, okay, so like I said, I think Immortals 5. You think Echo Fox 5.
Yeah. I mean, but honestly, that could go either way. I mean, I'm not even 100% on Echo Fox, really.
Yeah. I mean, they're I think they're going to be a surprising team, but I'm not sure how surprising.
Yeah.
After that, there's
CLG and Liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's CLG and there's Liquid.
We might be underrating Liquid a little bit.
Well, we don't know who their top laner is. It's probably Lurlo.
They have 10 fucking team,
which they haven't announced. They're playing their full team yet.
Which
they did. It's their fucking. It's like their challenger team, whatever it was.
Oh yeah, Liquid Academy.
Yeah, it's Liquid Academy.
Which I mean, I guess that's a big reveal.
Ooh, shocker.
I don't know. It's just fucking Liquid, man.
I don't know. Losing Quas is a huge blow.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Lurlo. I've heard he's pretty good. He's a solid player.
They lost a special too, right? They have a different support.
Yeah, Smoothie is their support.
Yeah.
Smoothie's good. I think Smoothie's a good player.
He's fine. It's really going to come down to, Piglet and Phoenix, right?
Dominates the shot caller now.
Oh, yeah, that's whatever. He's fine. As far as like carries go, it's going to be Piglet and Phoenix.
Yeah.
Every game.
Their team can be better. There's nothing about them that really impresses me right now.
And I think having 10 team members
in a not multi-game split
might be a bit much. I think it's going to put too much pressure on the players, I
don't know. I don't like the plan. I understand it, but if they're a split too early doing it.
Unless they've got every week planned out a week ahead of time to where, okay, this roster's playing this week. You guys need to practice and get your game plan ready next week.
Well, I think that their thought process is they can have interchangeable parts because they'll constantly be playing and scrimming.
Yeah.
So there'll never be any time for being stagnant.
I think it's just going to be a whole lot of mediocre players.
What I think is, it's like the old adage in sports. If you have a team with 2 quarterbacks has no quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think if they start swapping players real early on, it's not going to work out, and then they're going to go back to their old standard roster.
I think ultimately that's what a lot of these teams are going to end up doing.
Yeah.
The ones that have these great plans that run 6 and 7 man rosters.
Maybe next split, maybe in summer when that's a little more conducive.
And I think it's going to take a full split for these teams to sort of adapt to that.
Yeah, definitely. Could take a full season.
My opinion, you have Impulse 10, you have Dignitas 9. I have CLG 8.
CLG probably 8.
I have CLG at 8 having to play a relegation match. Maybe not losing their relegation match, but I look at their team and they replaced 2 carries who are Doublelift and Pobelter with what I feel are lesser players. Now, I don't know a lot about Stixie, and nobody does because he hasn't played on the professional scene.
And who he could be better than Pobelter.
Better than Pobelter. Yeah. What I've seen so far of him, he's not.
There's just not a lot of experience there.
Yeah.
And also, I don't care what the pros are saying about CLG's environment. It's not good. No. It can't be good.
I'm also tired of, and listen, I don't have anything against Xmithy, but I'm tired of people trying to sell me on that this guy is a superstar. He's a good jungler.
He's fine. Yeah.
He's a very nice jungler. I don't think he's going to equal more wins for your team. I don't think he's going to lose you any games, but I don't think he's going to win you any games.
When the heads come and they ask us to show us what we got, we're not looking to Xmithy for Get Swifty.
No.
Right? It's just he's fine.
Very nice player. If you can't find a better jungler, I mean, Xmithy's good.
I don't know.
I just don't. I look at this team and I see Darshan in top. I see Darshan on top. Okay, he's a good top laner.
Yeah. I kind of see...
Former Zion Spartan. He can do some damage.
I see Dignitas in their heyday is what I see in this, where they're just middle of the road.
A very average team that won't go away.
Good, not great.
Yeah. They're the new Dingleberry.
The new Dingleberry. I kind of feel bad for Darshan and Afro because they're good.
Yeah.
I don't think they're good enough to carry 3 other people.
And I mean, listen, we might end up being wrong. CLG may catch lightning in a bottle with Stixxay, who he might turn out to be what everyone hopes he's going to be. And, you know, Xmithie is a nice player. It.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah, I think they're finishing 8th. I feel very comfortable placing them in 8th and saying, prove me wrong.
Yeah, I think
that's not going to, but prove me wrong.
I think that's fair.
So then that for me puts 7 Liquid. 6 was
Echo Fox for you.
Echo Fox, and 5 was Immortals.
Yes, I did 5 Echo Fox, 6 Immortals, 7 Liquid, 8 CLG.
Yeah, so you're saying with me. So I mean, we generally had the same,
slightly different orders.
Slightly different order, but generally the same thoughts on these teams. I mean, as a region, I think North America is very strong right now because of all the imports they brought in.
Because North America is the new Europe.
Exactly, we're the new European Korea. I can say this: the challenger scene is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to get weird next season.
TDK, I believe, is going to get out of the challenger scene.
Yeah, they've got a shiny new roster
with Seraph and Ninja.
Not really shiny or new, but
Seraph, Ninja, OHQ, who they got, I think is going to be ridiculous. And then this is the other 2 players they have.
Yeah, TDK got a really bad rap last split.
Well, TDK didn't play with their team.
Exactly, bad rap.
Yeah. Shitty deal. Yeah. You know, when you don't play with your team at all, it's very difficult to expect them to, you know, like, perform.
Yeah. And then when you put them in and they don't perform, no one's surprised.
No.
Yeah.
It's just...
So there might be some challenger games actually worth watching.
The challenger scene could definitely be.
I wish they had better casters, but
yeah, well,
you know, we can shit in one hand and wish in the other, and see which one fills up first.
I don't even know what that means.
So, you really need me to break this down for you? There's like a grandma saying, if you poop in one hand, it's actually gonna fill up, but if you try wishing into a hand, nothing's gonna happen.
Okay.
Right. Because wishes aren't anything.
So I thought you were talking about that one team that used to be Incredible Miracle, and they're now Longzhu, but that's a Korean team.
Yeah.
But I tell you, that team, just on a side note, Flame, Chaser, Coco, Fury, and Pure.
I know.
That's not a bad team.
It's not a bad team.
That's a scary team.
Yeah. And Koo's got a new name sponsor.
Yeah.
Rocks.
Yeah. And they wear purple.
I love Koo. I love their uniforms. It's good. But all that aside,
so that's your NA. Yeah, that's your NA scene.
With that, let's talk a little bit about fantasy.
Well, that brings us to fantasy.
Little fantasy. You and me.
Otherwise known as hooks in a bikini bottom.
It's just a lot of
bikini bottom.
That's just a lot of stuff going on that I don't need in my head. Don't you put that bad juju on me, Ricky Bobby.
Put that bad juju on me, Ricky Bobby. Mm-hmm. So,
I think we almost founded this show on fantasy advice.
We really did. This show was built on fantasy advice and dick and fart jokes.
Yeah. It's a solid foundation.
The solid foundation of any long-lasting, successful show is on fantasy sports advice.
Yeah.
And dick and fart jokes.
That's how DraftKings got started.
Oh, and then ended. And even Vulcan, they're not doing pay for fantasy anymore.
I believe it.
You're gonna be able to bet gold and stuff, but no longer that sweet payola.
Oh, bum.
Oh well, sorry. So, right off the bat, you have any sleepers?
Oh God, no. I'm so bad when it comes to picking because I always want to pick the players that I'm a fan of, but you can't do that. That's a trap.
You can't be a fan in fantasy.
You have to basically just block out the names when you're looking at your spreadsheets.
Yeah.
And just look at the straight numbers.
So I have a couple of sleepers.
Okay, good. Tell them to me so I can.
I will tell you them. Okay, they're not going to sound like sleepers because you're going to hear these names and go, duh. But I will present you with why they're a sleeper. Sleeper number 1 is Gank by Mom.
Not a sleeper.
Not a sleeper pick in the traditional sense, but when you're gonna, I would consider picking him as my first pick, not number 1 overall, but in the first round. I would pick him in the first round.
Isn't the whole point of sleepers is to pick them up later in the round?
No. The idea of a sleeper is someone who you don't expect. You expect big things out of when other people don't.
Yeah, so you can get it later on.
Well, you hope to get it later, but I'm saying is I feel like Gank by Mom is gonna have there's gonna be big things.
Okay.
The thing about the fantasy LCS is that you're just not enough teams to have a true sleeper, and because you don't really, the rosters aren't that deep. There's not everyone's a starter. It's you're picking from starters.
Yeah.
It's not like you're like, oh, there's this guy buried on this other team's bench who I tell you in week 7 he's going to play and he's going to be great. No, that doesn't work like that. You have to sort of adjust how you define the word and how you work. I think people are going to try to get Gank by Mom late, and I would say jump on him early because I think his number is going to be really good. I think he will be rewarded with strong play.
I think you could probably wait till second or third round, and there are other players that you could get early on that are going to be a lot more contested as well.
Yeah. I think I want to say that he's one of those players who you can build your team around in fantasy.
I think you get him as like your sub.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sleep on him. I would jump on him.
I'd wait till at least second or third.
Second sleeper pick. Again, not a traditional sleeper pick. Freeze.
Not a sleeper.
Although last season didn't put up great numbers at all.
Crappy team though.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is going to rebound hard. I put him in the same thing that I said about Reckless going into the summer split when he came back to Fnatic.
Yeah.
I said he's out to prove himself. He's out to show that he's one of the best AD carries in the world, and you're going to be rewarded. Don't wait to pick him up. If you want him, use the pick early because you will be rewarded. I think the same thing about Freeze.
I think you could probably still wait to a second or third round to pick
here's the
Freeze
thing.
just because other people aren't going to pick him.
Yeah, right? I understand that, but here's the thing. If you pick him early, it will throw other people off, and then you can get someone else really good. The thing is, you could get these great players. I'm always I've always been from the school of if there's someone I want, I'm gonna pick him because I expect big things out of him. I'm not gonna wait and then lose him because it's happened to me in other fantasy situations, and I understand the concept of trying to get him late and build a team and get some good stuff. But because of the nature of fantasy LCS, because again, there's so few spots, and you're not going to want to take anybody on impulse. You're not going to want to take anybody on
Dignitas. That's a good point.
You're not going to want to take anybody on Elements or on like Rocket. So you have like 4 teams that you're really digging.
That's true. That's a good point.
So I'm saying is you really have to start to weigh these players a lot heavier. It's like, I want Freeze. Sure, I'm not saying make him the first pick, but top 2 rounds, if Freeze is there, grab him.
That's true.
He'll give
if you're late in the pick order,
yeah, exactly,
you might just have to pick it up.
Exactly. I'm saying is that I don't don't think that because he had a bad split last season, I think he's in a much better place. Here's a more true sleeper pick. I think Hard is.
That's probably an actual sleeper.
I like him a lot.
Yeah,
and I think he's going to have a chance to shine, especially teams that Froggen is on. Their junglers tend to do well because of Froggen's type of play.
Right.
Because the games tend to be long. Because most teams that Froggen is on are built around him.
Yeah.
And he is not an aggressive player. He's a very safe player. And, Froggen teams tend to play long games.
Sometimes Froggen is worth it as a player just because of the amount of CS he gets.
Exactly. He's
those 1/10 points per CS really add up in a 45-minute game.
Exactly, yeah.
Although, with the current meta, you should keep in mind that games are usually shorter.
You're sitting at an average of like a 32-minute game.
Yeah, it's like, if you really want to do the math, I think Riot said that average games are 8% shorter than they were last season.
Yeah.
So
but that in
that's something to
mind,
keep in mind.
yeah, that in mind, I think Hard is in a good place. I think he's on a team that he's going to be able to do some things with.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about KFO, so I can't remark on how he's going to be in lane. But if he turns out to be, Huni 2.0, I think you're going to be, you're going to definitely benefit if you own Hard.
Yeah.
And my final North American sleeper, again, not a traditional sleeper pick, but I think given the circumstances and the situation he's in, and based on the fact that he was fantastic last season, I think it's only going to be better, and that's Rush. I think Rush is going to be one of those first junglers
Rush
off the
probably
board.
do pretty good.
I think he needs to be.
Yeah.
And I think if you need a jungler and you're in rounds 1 through 3, you grab Rush because the guy scores points. The guy gets killed.
Yeah, here's the thing though. I wouldn't pick a jungler in the first 2 rounds.
No, I'm not saying to pick him in the first. Again, if you're in an 18 league and you have the number 8 pick, you may be forced to pick Rush because otherwise you're going to be, your back-to-back pick. You have to remember, if your last pick in the first round, you were the first pick. So you can easily go, gank by mom Rush or Rush gank by mom. And that's a great 1-2 combo because of a huge amount of kills, I feel. The kill potential that you've just picked up is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you go AD carry mid lane if you got that 1-2. I don't think you go top lane.
I agree with you, but if you look at Rush's numbers, he kills like a mid laner.
Yeah, I don't know.
When his games, when he has his carry games, he's got 8+ kills.
Yeah, it's the when he has his carry games.
But even last season on a lesser team, I definitely think that he is worth it because he's one of those rare players that plays in a position that doesn't traditionally get a ton of kills, and he does. He racks up kills like an AD carry, like a mid laner.
Yeah, I still don't.
And I think because he's in C9, I think because their team is so strong and they have such good carries in other positions, I really think he's going to benefit. I think he's going to find himself just in a kill-rich environment. I think he's going to find because teams are going to pick on balls because that's the new vogue for beating C9 is to pick on balls. And like I said, Rush is very good in the topside jungle. He does a lot of damage. You're going to see him just coming out and pouncing on people that dive on balls. He's going to get a lot of kills and a lot of assists on there. It's going to make balls very attractive, and it's going to make Rush very attractive.
Mm-hmm. What about Rush? What about teams though? You got to pick a team for your team slot. And that's the one I always have trouble with the teams because I always just pick one and then they make no points.
Well, I was going to give you the other 3 the European players.
Let's do a North American team. And
you want to do a North American team?
Round out the slots.
Okay, that's fair. That makes sense.
You have a support, you have a sub, and you have a team.
Sure. As for my North American teams, I will say, I honestly, I like Energy because of their carry positions. I like Energy as that team. Because their carries are so strong, I feel like they're going to get a lot of early kills, a lot of early first bloods. They're very aggressive. I feel like they're going to be jumping on.
Kills and first bloods don't matter for a team.
Yeah, they do.
First blood. The player gets bonus points for a first blood.
Oh, that's right.
The team doesn't get any points for kills. Teams is only objectives.
Yeah, I feel though the Korean influence on this team is Koreans tend to be very objective based.
I kind of think either C9 or TSM. Maybe.
I think it's
you know what, C9's a trap. I always pick C9 as my team and it always ends up biting me in the ass.
They're one of those teams that they're like they win the 5-4 game. And although I feel like they're gonna have a lot of kills, I'm not comfortable picking them as a team.
They don't take any objectives either. Once they start winning, they run down that lane and they end it.
I like Energy. Well, you want that sub 30-minute win too. You have to think about it that.
Yeah, but for
a sub 30-minute win is worth a lot.
For a team, you want a game that goes to 5 dragons and then take all the towers.
Well, or you want the sub 30-minute game.
It's only like 10 points though.
Only 10 points when teams are only scoring 16 points. If you win in 28 minutes and you got 6 towers, you're talking a game where you're like 20-point game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with the team, you want a real long game.
The ideal situation is the 11 towers, 5 dragons, a baron, all that other stuff.
You want a 40-minute game.
Yeah, sure.
Which is why when I'm picking teams, I look for the close game.
The happy medium is you want either 50 plus minutes or 29 minus minutes.
Yeah.
You don't want that in between spot. You want super long or fucking fast as hell.
Yeah.
So that's your for your players. You don't want a long game. You want long games, but for your team, you want a short. It's weird how it works. But I think energy. I think because the Korean influence and that being very objective based, I think they're going to be very good there.
I don't know. I think energy ends up playing a little sloppy Joe.
We'll see.
It ends up not getting a lot of points.
We will see. On the European side, number one sleeper, Forgiven. I think this new situation, I think he feels comfortable in H2K. I think probably lights a fire under his ass. I think Forgiven comes back in a big way.
Yeah, that's not bad. I think a lot of people are going to overlook Forgiven too
because they burned by him last season.
Yeah.
Me specifically.
Yeah.
Number two, this is going to be a little interesting. I like Gamsu.
Maybe.
I like Gamsu because a lot, again, like Forgiven, very overlooked.
Yeah.
And I think it's the situation that Huni and Reignover came into, is that you have another virtually unknown, known but not thought highly of, coming into a situation where he doesn't have to be the best.
Yeah,
and
that's not a bad point.
I think he will succeed through it. And in the same breath, my other one.
I think you have to be careful with that matchup, though, if you have Gamsu. Because if Gamsu gets outclassed, he's just getting raffle stomped, man. He's not taking any points.
Gamsu was very good on Dignitas, and they're a bad team.
Yeah, but he never really got a lot of points because I had Gamsu.
I understand that, but he was in a shit team. The team didn't score a lot of points. There just wasn't a lot of opportunity. Other than Core JJ making a couple of plays here and there.
Yeah.
So I think Gamsu is going to be in a position where he's going to be asked to be Huni light, and I think he will get his points where they need when you need them. I think he's a good, solid flex player type thing.
Yeah.
And in the same token, again, not a traditional sleeper pick, but I think Spirit, because of how crazy aggressive as a jungler he is.
That might be an actual sleeper.
I love that pick. I would risk a third round pick on Spirit.
Yeah.
If you can get it, if he's there and you don't have your jungler yet, because Spirit, again, comes over, was a great jungler in both Korea and China. A great jungler. And he's coming to a region that there's not a lot of great junglers right now.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Europe,
That's a good point.
There's not a strong jungle presence, and he's on a team that has still Reckless and Forgiven on it.
Yeah.
I do think he's going, and he's a carry jungler. He's a rush type jungler.
And that's good, especially because Forgiven usually doesn't get a whole lot of kills.
But he doesn't die.
He never dies.
And you're going to have a guy whose survivability and ability to stay alive in fights is so ridiculous that Spirit, his aggressiveness is going to just jump in. If you dive on Forgiven, attempt to get a kill, Forgiven's going to sneak his way out of that, and Spirit or Forgiven is going to get a kill and an assist.
Yeah.
So I love that pick, because where Reignover was a really great support jungler, Spirit is a much better carry jungler. So they're just really just kind of flip-flopped their top and their jungler, where Gamsu is going to be supporty, and he's incredible kill participation, excellent goal per minute, great CS, all that stuff is good in his favor, and it just shows that he's always around kills, and you're putting a huge carry jungler. So you're going to see situations where Spirit has games where he's like 8-4-6, and Gamsu's going to have games where he's like 1-2 and like 14.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of points out of players like that.
I think that's a good pick.
So, and I really feel like if you're going to do Spirit, try and handcuff him with Gamsu, because I think that's going to work well.
I know you're very big pro handcuffing.
I don't
think handcuffing is that good.
This is the reason I say this. Teams are going to pick on Gamsu. So Spirit is going to be hanging around top lane a lot more than they're going to be picking on the very, very safe Reckless,
I mean,
and the
unless
unkillable Febiven.
well, here's the thing: unless they just write Gamsu off, and then they try and then Spirit just focuses on Febiven and Reckless,
It's
right?
possible. It's possible. I'm just saying. I think if you can get Gamsu in the 6th or 7th round, which you'll be able to, and you already have Spirit, again, I think it's a great flex player to have.
Yeah.
If you don't have,
I'm just not a strong believer in the handcuff philosophy.
it works in certain situations.
I don't think it ever works.
It does. It
definitely. I think it's fine when the team's winning, but it would still be fine.
Well, here's the thing. If you kind of want to like a strong bottom lane, you sort of want to handcuff together.
You say that every season, and it never works out for you.
Well, you never had a strong bottom lane. If you would have had Reckless and Yellowstar in the same lane together.
Yeah, but that's not even fair because Reckless and Yellowstar were two of the highest point generating players in the entire season.
If you have an opportunity to pick Doublelift and get Yellowstar, handcuff them together.
I don't know.
Don't think that
again. Doublelift and Yellowstar, two of the highest point generating people in the league.
The point that I'm making though is that you like support AD carry. You want to handcuff.
I don't think you need to. I think
will.
Yeah, but if one's not doing well, the other one won't. Right.
But that's the risk with everything, though. That's the risk with everything.
No, you spread out your eggs a little bit so that you can have a support that does okay and then an ADC that does great,
Supports aren't going to score a lot of points unless your AD carry scoring a lot of points.
You just use Yellowstar as an example. Again, he was like top 5 point generator.
Yeah, okay, but you're talking again about a guy who also played in a team that every player across the board were in the top 10 were in the top 6 of points.
I don't think you need to handcuff. I think trying to handcuff players is
I'm not saying I'm not saying that you have to. I'm saying with certain things like this, again, in the situation where if you have Spirit and you can get Gamsu, it's good because they will work together.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's why I'm saying I like handcuffing certain situations.
I don't. I disagree with that strategy.
You're a bad drafter too, though. So
yeah, but I almost won the league last split.
Following my advice.
And you lost.
Because, well, I had also followed my advice and my players. Well, actually, my advice was I didn't even follow my advice because I said I didn't like Forgiven and I picked him. But that's because there was nobody left.
Yeah. So
I had a bad
don't even give me that.
I had a bad draft slot. As for my European team, I'm gonna H2K.
H2K. Yeah.
H2K because I think a lot of teams are H2K, or if you cannot get H2K, I also like where was it? Totally lost it. So it's not Rocket, but it's that team that's like a fucking blue logo.
Giants.
No, it's not. Is it Rocket? Or am I just thinking of H2? Or am I just thinking of H2K?
H2K is literally the H. It's H. It's a 2.
No, I know, and maybe that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's just. Yeah, I think it's just H2K.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because H2K has Vander and
Forgiven.
Shut up. Jankos.
Jankos.
That's right. That's why I was thinking of Rocket because they played for Rocket.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they have Vander and Jankos, and that's why I like that team. I think there's a lot of
strong pick.
Plus, Vander or Jankos is Mr. First Blood, Mr. Dragon.
Well, that has nothing to do with the team.
Dragon,
I guess. First Blood doesn't.
I understand that. I'm just saying. I think he's. Yeah. I think that helps.
I think H2K is a good pick.
Yeah, I like them. I like them a lot. So those are my sleepers.
Great. I dig it.
As far as staying away from players, I have 3 quick players that I would.
Yeah, these are helpful
in a draft. I stay away from Svenskeren.
Mm-hmm.
I know he is on a team of superstars. I just think he gets lost in it. I think it's overwhelming, and I think he doesn't end up really doing much.
He might be just the middle of the road person.
I think I think he's gonna be one of those guys who
15
puts up,
points a game.
Yeah, 15, 12 points here and there.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think they. I'll be honest. I think if they're playing well, they don't need him.
Yeah.
I think his job is literally going to be keep pressure off of Hauntzer.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Yellowstar and Doublelift are be like, just stay the fuck out of our lane. We got this. and Bjergsen's be like, I didn't want you. So that's I feel like I would stay away from him. This one's gonna hurt a little bit. I'd stay away from Huni. I'd stay away
maybe.
from Mooney until he proves something on this team because they scare me a little bit because of their the deficiencies in their other carries.
Just to add on to that, I might stay away from Turtle as well. They're safer ADCs.
Yeah, I agree. They're safer. And honestly, my other one, and although we spoke highly of because of the players around him, I wouldn't jump on Froggen early. If you're gonna draft Froggen, draft him very late.
Draft him late.
You can get him in the last 3 rounds if he's there. Fine. Do not pick Froggen because he's Froggen.
Yeah, that's a trap too.
That's such a trap pick. It's such an easy pick. You see him in the first 3 rounds, like, oh, fucking Froggen playing in NA, he's gonna be great.
And you know Riot's gonna inflate his fucking estimate.
Oh yeah.
That's another piece of fantasy advice. Don't fucking look at Riot's estimate.
Don't look at Riot's estimate.
Yeah.
And honestly,
especially in the first 3 or 4 weeks.
Here's another trap pick that I would kind of stay away from. I just sort of thought of it now, especially in the same vein as Froggen. While I love him as a player and I love his team, Alex Ish is going to be very, very he's going to be great. He's going to be great, but he's not going to be beneficial as a fantasy player. Maybe he will not benefit you with very big scores because he's a very smart player. He's a very cerebral player. He's excellent. He will get kills, but he's not going to be a huge point scorer.
I think he's a good. I think he might just be like a good, like if you don't have another choice for a sub or a mid,
or as a flex player,
or as a flex, you might be able to get away with Alex Ish.
He's not a bad player to have. I'm just saying, don't get trapped into seeing Alex Ish, North America, one of the best mid laners in the world all time. Yeah, dude, we're gonna jump all over him. I'll pick him in round 4 or round 5. No. Pick him in round 8. If you don't waste an early pick on him.
Yeah,
right? That's a trap waiting to happen. So
great.
I mean, those are my that's our fantasy show right there.
Mm-hmm.
So take that information, use it on your draft. We, as we had posted on Reddit earlier today, prior to recording, we are inviting our listeners, viewers, fans. If you guys want to join our league, shoot us a message on Reddit or an email or tweet at us. Let us know your in-game League of Legends name. Sorry, North American players only. We will invite you guys to the league. It's a first come, first serve type
we
basis.
might not be able to get everybody.
Yeah, it's
right.
Listen, we are but 2 humble servants. We cannot have a league of 45 players if all of you want in. So this first come, first serve. I apologize. Pan apologizes in advance if we can't get all of you in. But please, we will do a live draft. At least we'll do a show while we draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah,
we can do it on a weekend. I might get drunk.
If we could do it on a Wednesday or later, because I work from home on those days, I might get drunk.
I can't drink on Wednesdays. Gives me indigestion.
Only on Wednesdays?
Just on Wednesdays.
That's just the strangest indigestion ever.
I know.
In closing of this fantastic and fun-filled show where so much information was presented to you and you can, as you digest it in your bowels, your loins, as you digest this information.
Who digests things in their loins?
I don't think loins are a real thing.
It's the tender part of the here, right? Right? That would be your or no, it's here on a person. Loin.
What is it, your flanks?
No, your flank's the outside.
I don't know what.
Loin, I think, is the inside.
Regardless, as you digest
on a deer, it's the back strap.
We have another instance. Sorry. We have another instance of league lore, and please stop.
Yeah, we've been seeing, especially with this Jhin new champion stuff going on,
with the bullets and the exploding flowers,
and they're cool, right? I love it.
Listen, the cinematic that they showed was neat.
It's great. What we don't need is super elaborate lore in 3 pages of fan fiction to go along with it.
I don't need 50 Shades of Gay when I'm reading about champions, all right?
Well, what we need is we need to take a page out of Twisted Metal's book and just
Twisted Metal fucking lore.
Give me one fucked up paragraph of why these people are fighting and then have it end.
I'm Mr. Grimm. I'm the lame hipster Ghost Rider because my fucking motorcycle has a sidecar and my head's on fire. You're in the tournament, you know.
I'm Sweet Tooth. I'm a scary clown in the tournament.
Yeah, you're in too, you know.
Yeah.
I'm Spectre. If you've ever seen Vanishing Point, that's pretty much me.
Yeah, so we're gonna do this League of Legends. You know, like, I'm Annie. I burnt up my parents in a fire.
And I have a pet bear.
The end.
The end. That's my fucking lore.
Yeah.
You know? I'm a moo. I may be a yordle, or maybe I'm not, but I'm a sad mummy.
I'm Poppy. I just like smashing people with a hammer.
And now I look good. You know, I'm Draven. I have a sweet mustache and I throw fucking axes. Darius is my brother. There, lore. Boom.
I'm Darius. I once decapitated someone that I didn't mean to. Now I want them back.
I cut his fucking head off. Yeah, you know, listen, this is lore. You can go straight down, you know, straight down the list. I'm Gangplank. I'm a pirate who used to eat oranges. Arr.
I'm Willem, and this is Nunu. He ate my siblings. Now I ride him like a pet.
Now I ride him like a pet. That's fucked up.
Yeah. Well, it's Twisted Metal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so sorry. We were still on Twisted Metal logic.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more each.
Okay.
Make a good one here. I want to get a good one here. Oh, I'm Bard. Whoa, bong, bong, bong. There, lore.
I'm
there.
I'm Scion. I'm a zombie with an axe. Ooh, coon.
Yeah. I'm just a big zombie that runs into shit with an axe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love it.
And then whenever you kill the Nexus, you get to grant a wish. You get a wish granted, and then your lore is over.
So we beat the game.
Yeah, you beat the game.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah, you get your wish.
And then Darktooth comes down and he chases you around the map.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
The end.
The end. And then the credits roll, and Rolling Stones' Painted Black comes up.
Yeah. That's
You
it.
can't play because of copyright.
Whatever.
Chick-a-ding.
Damn the man.
We'll just make the mouth it. Ding, 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 ding.
Just keep going with that. Keep going.
Ding, ding, ding.
We just want to say thank you guys for watching. That has been this week's Tower Dive. The amazing instrumentalist a cappella group right now is Captain Hooks. I am your host, co-host Panda Man, and we will see you on the Rift.
That last one was a sitar.
Bye-bye.
See ya.